Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
You're looking live at PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's Friday. Thank the Lord it is Friday, folks. We got a good show lined up today. We'll have JC's commentary here in just a moment, and then we'll have Franz Beard from Gator Media join us. He can give us an update on what's going on in the Gator sports world. If you missed it last night, Gators didn't play great, blew a big lead against the Pirates of East Carolina, found a way to win in the Lakeland Civic Center. A win's a win. I believe they go to 7-3 on the year, and I think the next game up are the Michigan Wolverines and the Jumpman Classic up in Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. JC? You're on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements.
All right. Well,
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Big football weekend starting with the early bowl games. We had an NFL game last night that looked like.
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't have Prime or whatever, but I woke up this morning, I looked at the score, and I go, "What the hell happened in that game?"
It looked like a November SEC FCS game. It was 42-0 at halftime, and
really?
The Raiders who scored, yes, they set a team record for scoring last night. And they, you realize last week against Minnesota, the Raiders scored 0.0 points. They lost 3-0. They had 42 at halftime against the Chargers, who have basically packed in the season. Herbert's out, a lot of guys out. I don't know if Staley survives this year. It's been a terribly disappointing season.
There's no way. No way.
I don't think there's any way he does either. But they've had some real bad luck with the injuries, but nevertheless, just a complete failed effort. And Las Vegas wins 63-21. QB.
I thought it was 66.
Well, I think they scored.
Regardless, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they scored 9 touchdowns.
But yeah, when I saw that score this morning, I think it was like 14-0 last time I looked at it. And I woke up this morning. You're right. It was 63-21.
They had 21 points in the first and 21
JC,
points.
did you take the under?
No. Because of the beautiful Hard Rock Sports wagering app, we had the Raiders to win and the over 35.5 parlayed, same game parlay. And then the Raiders were just a 3-point favorite. So that was a good couple of plays there last night. And we talk about, I don't know if you talked about this much at all, but something like 25 states in this country have legalized mobile sports wagering. And it is clearly the fastest growing leisure spend in the country right now. And we have basically done this now for 5 years outside of the state of Nevada with a Supreme Court ruling that enabled New Jersey to start that. And young men ages 18 to 45, QB, 63% of the young men, which is the major demographic for this activity, 63% of them are single, and 50% have absolutely no interest in dating, even casually, and 30% of the 60% have not had sex in over a year and don't seem to care. And that has allowed mobile to explode. And I got this off of Pew Research, PEW. DraftKings.
So, JC, what you're saying is, if this had happened 25 years ago, when you were between 18 and 45, you would not be married.
We didn't have one of these. Yes, and I would not have sex. DraftKings has doubled its revenue the last 3 years. Now think about this. DraftKings, as a publicly traded company, has doubled its revenue in the last 3 years with half the country legalized. And we're just talking about the legalized existing states. California and Texas are the most populous states in the country, and they do not allow it yet. So think about the growth in that industry. Again, the fastest growing leisure spend in the country, and men are the biggest demographic. And I gave you some shocking percentages of those who are doing this. And women basically spend their time on Instagram and Taylor Swift concerts and things like this at that age group. Men no longer buy used cars and antiques and guns and show them off in their high school. They basically get on the phone and they wager. And that's it. And it's taken
That's
off.
it.
And
There you have
Florida has allowed the Seminole Indians to take it over with a monopolized avenue of the Hard Rock sports betting app. So it's completely legal. There's no stigma or taboo attached to it. It's just another activity.
All right, we're going to jump into This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. JC.
Yeah.
In 1980.
Oh.
We're in what? 2023? So
yes.
What's that?
53
years ago?
43
years ago?
Mm-hmm.
43 years ago.
Yep.
Yankees Dave Winfield becomes the highest paid player. He
Dave
signed
Winfield.
a 10-year deal.
$6 million.
15 mil.
15 mil. Okay.
So what did Ohtani just sign? A 10-year, $700 million?
And you realize he's deferring just about
No,
all.
I know that, but just think about that. That was 43 years ago. Dave Winfield signed the highest. He became the highest paid player in Major League Baseball at 10 years, $15 million.
That was an insane amount of money, and it is amazing what we have in today's world. It is amazing that the Dodgers, can just go through with that. And you'd say the Yankees buy their teams. The Dodgers have the highest payroll, I think, in baseball.
I don't know. I thought they had a salary. Do they not have a salary cap in baseball?
No, they have a luxury tax, and the salary caps are left for the hockey and the NFL. And I want to say the NBA. I care such little about the NBA that I don't know, but the NHL and the NFL certainly have that. And, it keeps a balance, QB. And I think since you brought that up, salary cap, I don't know how often you talk about this with some of your other friends and colleagues, but salary cap might be something we talk about with college football. And if that happens,
baseball needs to do it, quite honestly.
Well, but college football, QB, we talk about these ridiculous numbers going to these kids playing sports and college football rather. And I think that is coming at some point in the future. And with that will come collective bargaining. And with that will come W-2 wages. And you know what that means. And that's employment. And I think that's where it's heading. I don't think it can continue to be sustained at this level of crazy spending.
So in portal news, the Georgia Bulldogs, their preseason All-American linebacker, I can't remember his name from. He's in the portal.
Yeah,
the Oklahoma Sooners, who went 10-2, lost their quarterback to Oregon and lost all 5 starting offensive linemen that were coming back are in the portal.
So, QB, when you go to the portal, you're not guaranteed anything. In fact, you're not even guaranteed an education at the college, the school.
Correct. Some people go to the portal and their football career is over.
As is their academic career because they can't get into a college for a scholarship, and therefore they have to go spend money. It's like they give up everything to try to make a move because somebody told them something. And I don't know if that's the way we want college. Is that what we want? I mean, do you really want to have these kids basically just foregoing all educational opportunities because they want to go in the transfer portal if they don't get picked up by another school? I mean, they don't even get to go back into another school. So if they don't get picked up in this dumb transfer portal. So, thankfully, what is it, January the 3rd or something? We're done with this. I think you probably talked about that with Franz Beard yesterday. And I don't know. I think it's still very important that you have a good high school science class. I think it's still important that you do recruiting and then you find kids and we don't go through the portal 100%. And I don't think anybody is. But, boy, the percentages seem to be favoring the portal. And I think high school recruiting is still very, very important.
Well, the problem is these kids have so many people in their ear now, whether it's their parents, their uncles, their aunts, their posse. You need to get in the portal. You can get paid, bro. You can get paid.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't the case. That ain't the case with every player.
No,
all right. Sure. Brandon has a question here. He says, QB seems like, this is on Facebook Live brought to you about Melon Law. Seems like the basketball team's lost some steam. Do you think it's because teams have figured out how to defend us? Offense and ball movement isn't what it's been lately. Look, it's basketball. It's a long season. You won't find anything out about this basketball team till you get to conference play.
Yeah, that's right.
It will be brutal week in and week out in the SEC. They're 7-3. They have spurts where they look good, but you can say that about every basketball. I watch a lot of college basketball. There's not a dominant team out there right now. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, there's still academics to deal with, final exams, Christmas time. The teams don't play the same, I think, the same intensity as they do once we get into January. Once we get into January, we start seeing the conference open up a little bit. Conference play starts. We'll see some better basketball.
Chris on here says Naper's going 2-10 next year. He'll beat Samford and maybe Central Florida. Look, you don't know, man. I saw Jaquez Green posted he thinks we're going to win 8 games next year.
All right. Yeah. Well,
got to go
I
play
think
them.
it's really impossible, QB, until you see what this roster is going to look like.
Well, we went through it yesterday. I believe there's out of the 12 opponents, not 12 opponents. Yeah, 12 opponents. Only 2 teams have their returning quarterback.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And then you also have bye weeks. I think Florida has 7 home games next year. QB, we did talk about that.
I only have to get on an airplane 3 times.
I know, but QB, my God, that last 5 game stretch it's absurd. That last 5 game stretch. I don't know if you saw the review.
But you can't worry about it right now. Those teams may not be what they were this year. They may They may have people hurt. They may have people go to the transfer portal. I saw a kid got kicked off Kansas State's basketball team for some violation.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
He's now playing for the Memphis Tigers. He was playing for Kansas State last week. Now he's playing for Memphis. So
well, it is.
Joseph says, and I thought we were going to win 8 games this year. Joseph, if you look at them, we could have won 8 games, buddy. I mean, you make a kick and then you stop a 4th and 1. There's at least 7 right there. So,
but QB, you also got to take away that 4th and 16 in South Carolina too.
No, that's right. I mean, you could say that about every team in America can go through their schedule and play here or there. But look, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I was wrong, but I also thought
it was just a prediction.
I also thought we could freaking tackle people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that too, bro. The defense was just
absolutely horrendous.
It was so
There's
bad.
No other way to say it.
I can't remember a time when it was as bad. Even in the 70s when they were going 7-5 every year, they still tackled people. Sammy Green, David Little, John Brantley, Scott. I'm sorry.
You know what's
Scott
crazy
Brantley
is everybody as bad as everybody hates our offense, and I get it.
Yeah.
If you would have had this offense back in the 70s, they would have won 1 million games.
Well, maybe. But I'll tell you, Scott Brantley never missed a tackle. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. They always had great defense.
They did. They sure did.
Yeah. All right, we got some text on the Titan Mar text line. Tommy in Savannah says, my brother Joseph says most of the complaining fans that call in and post on social media wouldn't even make a good second string armchair quarterback. Kevin in Punta Gorda saying, what's the unhealthy obsession some fans have with the transfer portal? Let the chips fall. We fans have no control of it. Well, that's what I've been saying.
That's very true.
The Gators, I think, have got 1 kid out of the portal as a JUCO defensive end, I believe.
Yeah. Well.
And then we have a text here from someone in the Jacksonville area who wants to know why the Gainesville Country Club did not make it.
It's called financial issues. And the guy who came in telling everybody he had this and he had that just basically sold a bag of crap to everybody. But, QB, in the year 2000 of our Lord, 23 years ago, Florida State played Miami. Okay. Ken Dorsey and the Miami Hurricanes beat the snot out of FSU. Guess what happened? Guess what the BCS did? They took FSU instead of Miami. And FSU then went and lost to Oklahoma. So if I hear one more FSU fan with this garbage they're embarrassing themselves at this point right now. They're just basically making themselves look like an idiot fan base. And, they didn't have a problem back in 2000. They didn't have a problem back in 2003 when they lost to Notre Dame and then still went ahead of them. So these folks just have very small minds and memories. They got to wake up, these Florida State fans. Try beating a battered down Georgia team and see what you can do with that. Let's just talk about that. In fact, one guy in Georgia. I
saw where some dude is trying to get that.
Yeah, a politician in Georgia is trying to get this as another playoff game. It's just absurd. It's so ridiculous right now. It's gotten to the politicians that make it even worse. And it's laughable. And they're just embarrassing themselves. My God. So, when Alabama goes and beats Michigan and when Texas beats Washington, we'll have a rematch in Houston. And that's what's going to happen. How's that? Okay, and then we're done with it. Thank God.
I thought you were picking Washington to win that game.
Okay, let me go with the Huskies then. I would rather see Washington to tell
Yes,
you.
You would. I think Texas will win it.
I would rather see Washington, but I will tell you the Texas game, in Houston is a tough. That's a tough one. And but I do think Milroe, who will probably be the Heisman favorite going into next year because he said he's coming back. I think he's a much better and different quarterback than he was back then. He's not as careless with the football. I think we all know that. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be two great semifinals. I don't understand why the game in New Orleans is the second game. It should be the first, but that's the way it goes. That's fine. I get out of the Rose Bowl. Thank God. Go watch that game on TV. And
Daryl has a text on the Titan More text line. Says, "Good morning, guys. If Etienne goes to Georgia, do you think he'll be the featured back? As Georgia does have backs coming back, it'd be funny if he's used the same capacity like at Florida." I will make this prediction that he will be used the exact same way he was here. He's a very good running back, but he's either going to have to improve dramatically in pass protection. But Georgia uses multiple backs, and if he goes to Georgia, he's going to probably get the same amount of carries there that he did here.
It must run in the family with the ETNs. Great skilled players, wonderful. But boy, Myles Garrett almost killed Travis Etienne last week trying to block him. I mean, Travis actually turned his back as Myles Garrett rode on by to kill Trevor Lawrence. They don't like to block those ETN kids, but by God, you get them in space and they're exciting. But
Matt says on Facebook Live, ETN is no Branson Robinson. I will tell you something. Branson Robinson, he got injured last year, but he's from Madison, Mississippi, or Gluckstadt, Mississippi. Played for the Germantown. Let me tell you something. He's as good a running back as I've seen in high school football.
We've been on Gluckstadt before, QB.
Yeah. Trezell says,
I got a text message. Michigan ain't losing to no Alabama, bro. Okay. Well, we'll see.
There you go. Trezell says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, we should be able to get some guys cheap out of the portal towards the deadline if they don't get picked up.
I want to go on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
Maybe. But is that who you want? I mean,
you're not just going to get people just to get people.
What is that about? I don't want just anybody. You got to form a team. I don't know. What do you think? You think Franz is going to give us some good info and scoop? It is literally impossible to tell or to know what kids at 18, 19, 20 years old are going to do. It's impossible until
That's what I've been trying to tell you, JC, for months
You don't
now.
have to tell me. I already know. I don't follow this. This is your show. You do this. I mean, Okay, so QB on on YouTube, Van Der wants to know when you are going to unban him.
Oh, I don't have anything to do with that, but I don't put up with all that nonsense about racism and stuff.
Yeah, Van.
That is not allowed on my show.
31 M. Berg. Graham is easily a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. All right, JC, you got some Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Fort Charlotte surrounding area picks for the bowl games, which kick off tomorrow. Let's hear what you got. I don't even know who's playing in these bowl games.
QB, the FCS is in their playoff situation. If we were in 2024 right now, we'd have the first round of the playoffs. I said it was last week. It would actually be this weekend. Think about that. 6 playoff games this weekend. We'll have that to look forward to next year at this time. But in the FCS, the Albany Great Danes, who had a huge win last week in Moscow, Idaho, against the Vandals, Mark Schleret's alma mater. They play at San Diego State, your favorite team, the Jackrabbits.
That would be the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, not San Diego State, Jason.
Excuse me, you're correct. South Dakota State, who play in Brookings, South Dakota. And they play outdoors there. And the Great Danes are rolling in, getting 20.5. What do you got there, QB?
I'm going to go with the Jackrabbits.
Of course you are. I'm going to take the Dogs just because they're getting 20.5. The Great Danes. Is that a great nigga? All right, the Grizz, baby, of Missoula, Montana, at home against the Bison. Now, this is good football, man. This is really good football. North Dakota State. This is the dynasty.
I'm going to take the Montana Grizzlies playing at home.
I love that. I'm doing.
So
I'm doing,
JC, I asked Brent Beard this yesterday. Since you now
yes,
are a wizard at FCS football,
I am a wizard. Yeah.
why are none of the Southern Conference teams like the Furmans, the Sanfords, all the schools out here on the east southeast area, why aren't they
Yeah.
never in the hunt for these titles? It's always the
Yeah.
people out in the snow.
One of the reasons I got to think is it seems like they always play those games in the snow, don't they? And it's
Yeah,
hard.
but what I'm saying is none of these teams
I
ever
know they
advance.
don't. No, they don't. Well, the one team that you could say was technically in the South that was a pretty dominant team would be
James
your
Madison?
James Madison Dukes.
Yeah.
And they absolutely did. But North Dakota State has clearly been the dynasty. They are 10-3. Montana's 12-1, 9-0 in Missoula, 9 straight wins for the Grizz, 5 straight for the Bison. That is actually appointment watching football. Go and watch it. Then we go to the FBS. We actually have bowl games starting tomorrow. And in the FBS, we start with the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Think about that for the folks from Ohio. That would be a great trip to go to Myrtle Beach. Hell, it's a great trip for John Cornell in Gainesville, Florida.
But the problem is, I think it's going to be pouring down rain all week there.
Yeah, that is a problem. So Georgia Southern -3 against those Bobcats. Who you got?
Who's playing again?
Georgia Southern is laying 3 to the Bobcats.
I'm going to take, okay, so here's another crazy thing. Ohio has like 12 starters that are gone to the portal. Their quarterback is already signed with another team.
I don't know why it's 3 points, QB.
I'll take Georgia Southern. I don't know if I guess they got all their players. Who knows?
Another MAC game, or another MAC team, excuse me. Miami of Ohio down in Orlando for the Cure Bowl, playing Appy State and getting 6.5. I'm taking Miami of Ohio. I like them.
I'm going to take the Mountaineers of Appy State.
Okay, we'll see how they do. Jacksonville State is playing Louisiana in the New Orleans Bowl. Jacksonville State is -2.5 against the Cajuns. I'm going to take the Cajuns in New Orleans.
I'm going to take Jack State first bowl game ever.
Yeah,
Rich Ride. They'll be excited. I'll take the Gamecocks.
In Albuquerque.
Did you know they were called the Gamecocks, JC?
I absolutely knew that, QB. My God. I mean, who are you talking to here? New Mexico State, the Aggies, the beloved Aggies, victors over Auburn. They play Fresno, and they lay 3.5 in Albuquerque for the New Mexico Bowl.
I think Fresno's still coached by Jeff Tedford. I think he had some health issues.
Take Fresno.
I'm going to go with the Aggies and Diego, whatever his name is, their quarterback.
Yeah. Man, that's a great story of Jerry Kill. How about this? UCLA gets to go play in the Los Angeles Bowl. They're playing Boise State in SoFi Stadium. I can't imagine why they would care. I'm going to take Boise State getting 4.
Is this the Rob Gronkowski Bowl?
It could be. It's the LA Bowl, whatever that is.
I think his name is on this now.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
Who's playing again? UCLA and who?
Boise State.
UCLA's quarterbacks, I think, are all in the portal.
They're terrible.
Boise State has a new coach.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I'll take the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want UCLA to win that in-law. And then finally, we have a real game that I think with two teams that actually will try to win in Shreveport in the Independence Bowl. It's called the Independence Bowl. Again,
been to it many times.
California +3 against Texas Tech.
Oh, give me the Red Raiders. Although I think their quarterback left, didn't he?
I'm taking Cal.
Yeah, their quarterback transferred to like Louisville.
It's incredible these ridiculous roster moves. Oh, in the NFL, real quick, QB, Miami, the Dolphins beaten, battered, and bruised, injuries galore. At home, laying 9.5. I'm taking the Jets. I'm going to take the New York Jets.
Oh, I love the Jets in that game.
To cover against Miami. And
the
then
Jets
Tampa
couldn't score. The Jets, I don't think, scored a point last week in the first half, and they scored 30 in a driving rainstorm in the second half.
It's crazy against Houston. Tampa Bay and Green Bay up in Lambeau, 3.5 for the Packers. Tampa Bay trying to win a division. 3.5 points. Green Bay really was disappointing the other night, and I think Tampa Bay stays with them and covers that 3.5. Who you got? You got Jordan.
That line doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It says take Tampa Bay.
That's what I'm doing.
I think Jordan Love will play well this week. Give me the Pack, although it doesn't make sense.
Then finally on Sunday night up there at my joint, the Ravens are giving Jacksonville 3.5. The Jags are kind of injured up as well, a lot of injuries, but this is a game. If Jacksonville loses this game, they are looking at maybe not making the playoffs if Houston and the other team, the Colts, I just because of the way they're playing, and this would be their third straight loss. I think they're going to be desperate, somehow pull out this 3. And I think the line should be more than 3.5 QB. But the Ravens, got very fortunate last week against the Rams, got some breaks on that punt return, scored on a 3rd and 18 with seconds left to go to tie the game. Oh, after they made a 2-point conversion. So, well, they didn't tie it. They went ahead, and then the Rams kicked a field goal to tie it. But Baltimore has been living dangerously. Jacksonville has been playing terribly. I think the Jags will turn it around. They have to. This is
the only thing that concerns me about the Jags. They've struggled defensively.
They're awful, just awful.
I'm going to take the Ravens in that.
Yeah, probably a safe play there, but I'll take the dumb Jags.
Mitchell says on Facebook Live, Shane, those Northern FCS teams' rosters are littered with players from Florida. That's true, but it's just weird how Furman and, obviously like App State, James Madison, Jacksonville State, those type of teams used to be playing that level of football. They bumped up to the big boys now. A lot of people say, are a lot of people opting out of bowl games? Yeah, but you're not heard a whole lot of it, but it's more people going to the portal that are no longer. I mean, think about the Texas Longhorns. They have a chance to win a national title.
Yeah,
and their backup quarterback,
Malik Murphy, hits the road.
Is in the portal. He's done. He's done being a Longhorn.
And the way that happens to me is it's clearly tampering. It's got to be somebody in his ear, dude. That's all I can think of. It's got to be. Why would you do that, QB? Why would you just do that? Knowing the history of Quinn Ewers and the fact that he is prone to injury, why would you just pick up your bags and leave when you've got a chance to win a championship with your teammates? This is just wrong to me. It's wrong. But these are kids that are making their own decisions for their own life. But I think people are tampering. And I think that's the biggest issue. People are getting into these very young, impressionable heads, and they're telling stories that may be true, but may not be true. And it's wrong. And Malik Murphy wish him luck, but he's given up on his teammates. He played 2 games, 2 very important games that if he didn't play, and if he didn't play halfway decently, they wouldn't be in New Orleans right now, QB.
Yeah. All right. So Trezell has a question here on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I get this one all the time.
Yeah.
He says, so if you don't get picked up when you're in the portal, do you lose your scholarship and have to get a 9-to-5 job like us? Okay. As soon as you put your name in the portal, your scholarship is gone.
It's over.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Now, you may have a deal, which I haven't heard of this with any other coaches. You may say, JC says, I'm going to the portal, coach. All right, JC, we'll let you go to the portal. If you want to come back, we'll put you back on scholarship. That doesn't really happen.
I don't think
once your ass is in the portal, you're gone.
Yeah.
And there were thousands of athletes last year in the portal that left scholarships and never were picked up.
Yeah, and then that scholarship, so therefore now they have to pay for college. I think just give up things because people tell them stories that I don't think.
Everybody thinks they're good enough or better than some other player, but that's not always the case. All right, before we get you out of here, JC, text on the Titan our text line. I don't know who it's from. It's anonymous. It says, do you think Will Harris only came to the Gators because the San Diego Chargers will clean house and that when another position comes available in the NFL, he will go back? That's possible. I do know that college coaches make more money than NFL coaches, but you got to put up with a lot more nonsense at being a college coach. Yeah. So that's a great question. I mean, he could easily be signed by the Denver Broncos next year for all we know.
Yeah, for all you know. He's out there recruiting, talking to players, I would think, right? And
he's already out recruiting. But what I'm saying is,
but he might be telling these kids, "Hey, come to this school. I'll be here for a while."
Well, that's what they all tell you.
I know.
They all tell you I ain't going anywhere.
I know. And then there they go.
Yeah.
There they go. I'll be. Look, everybody. This is a fast-moving thing, and. I don't know. I'm just kind of glad we've got some good football this weekend coming up. NFL is really getting down to the nitty-gritty with these divisions. And we're going to get some answers here as we go through December. And then the bowl games will get going. We'll get to the playoffs at the end of the month. And all I can tell you is, FSU folks, you don't seem to care about 2000 or 2003 when it worked your way. Nobody was suing anybody, or nobody was doing investigations.
Do they really think by suing and stuff anything is going to change?
They're ridiculous. It's just it's such posturing and politicizing this issue and just making themselves look worse. I understand the pain and agony and upset feelings. Dude, they scored 1 touchdown against Louisville. All this guy, Boo Corrigan, had to say was, we just don't think they're good enough to be in the Final Four. I'm
a firm believer if all Power 5 champions were all undefeated, they'd still be left out, even with Jordan Travis.
So if Georgia had won, you don't think they would have taken FSU?
I don't.
You think they would have taken Texas in front of FSU?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Yeah, I think Texas was part of the package deal because of Alabama winning. But I mean, you could be right. You might be right. Who cares? It doesn't matter. FSU would have gotten their doors blown off at the Rose Bowl. They would have. They can't score. They don't have offense. And that great defense that they love to talk about, the 86 Giants, for God's sakes, Boston College scored the last 20 points, 19 points on them in that game in Chestnut Hill. They're not great. They're not great at all. They beat a subpar Florida team and a subpar Louisville team at the end of the year, and all of a sudden we're talking to them about the 85 Bears. That's not who they are. They are a fine team. They are the ACC champions, and they're damn lucky they're not playing the Georgia Bulldogs with a full roster. Let's just say that. I'll leave it at that.
Rules-Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com, 352-240-1779. All right, before we get out of here, Greg says, Gator for life as they transfer out. Gator for life. That's the dumbest damn thing I ever heard.
What does that mean, QB?
No, it means JC. It would be like, okay, let's use Jalen Milroe, for example, since you're an Alabama guy. Let's say Milroe was like a sophomore right now. What is he, a junior? He's got one more year left. Let's just say he was a sophomore, had a good year. Let's say y'all weren't in the playoffs, and he goes to the portal and he sends this, long letter, Bama for life, or whatever they say there. I mean, it's the dumbest thing. Dude, you just left the school. Nobody gives a shit about you anymore.
It's all PR, QB. They're trying.
No, it's just stupidity. But then you have fans that go in there, go be great, do this. To hell with them. They're gone. They're gone. To hell with them.
Oh, QB, you're so harsh on these youngsters.
No, I just think it's ridiculous. Because you've been here less than 12 months and you're talking about a Gator for life. You ain't.
No.
Or you're not a dog for life or tiger for life or
Paladin for life.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. College football has become ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, 18, 19 million people watch the SEC championship, and something like that also watch the Big Ten game between Michigan and Ohio State. So people are still watching. But, don't worry. Next year, 12-team playoffs coming next year, dude. We have 6 games. I just wish they will get, this is for another day, another discussion. I just hope that they kind of tweak it for the top 4 teams. You can't play 3 neutral site games, expect your fan base to be intact. You got to give them an on-campus game. But I don't think they're going to do that in the first year. I hope they do it in the second, though. This traveling is crazy. I had to pre-book my trip to Houston, assuming we beat Michigan. If we don't beat Michigan, then they will, of course, cancel that charge. But, my God, it's a lot of traveling. Of course, I don't have to go. I have a television in my living room. But, this is what I choose to do.
All right, we're going to – JJC, you hang on. We're going to take a timeout. Yeah, Franz must be sleeping or something.
I'll hang on.
We got to take a timeout, pay some bills. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back, folks. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Duffield Home Improvements for your window, siding, and roofing needs. Radware, your local provider of promotional products, uniforms, and apparel. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Silverback Concrete's a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. We were supposed to have Franz Beard. Franz must be had a rough night. He slept in. JC, do you think Silverback Concrete is part of the Auburn NIL?
Why would they be Auburn? Tell me what the story is there behind that. What's Auburn?
Well, the owner of that company played football at Auburn.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that Frankie? Is that Frankie
Stankunas?
Oh, love Frankie. Oh God, yes. No, I don't think Frankie has time for that. I don't think Frank loves his Auburn Tigers, but he's not fanatical about it. I don't think
Yeah. Well, he's just like any other former player. He's not. He probably can't stand it. So listen to this on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Alan says, I sent my 9-year-old grandson an ETN jersey for Christmas. What do I tell him when he finds out number 7 is transferred?
Hey, Alan, did you save the receipt?
Tell him it's a Danny Werfel and they put the wrong name on the back.
Oh, there you go.
That's what you do, Alan, is wherever you purchased it, they should have a name plate.
That's terrible.
Purchase the Werfel nameplate, send it to your grandson, and said, "Son, I'm sorry, but they misspelled the guy's name. It should be. I can't even spell Danny's last name, but
W-U-E-R.
No, I think it's W-E-U.
Oh, E-U-R.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But that's what you do. You just say it's a Danny Werfel jersey, and they put the wrong name on the back.
It's UE, QB. It's UE.
Well,
Werfel.
it's one of them.
Okay.
It's one of them.
FFE. Well, listen, I've sympathized out. Just send that thing back, get your money back, and run down to one of these Gator shops and just go pick up a Graham Mertz or something. So
I just changed the name on the back.
Well, with the
it's
number.
WEUFFEL.
Oh, it is EU. Okay, I'm wrong. But what number was Dan? Was 7, wasn't he?
That's what I just said. Travis Etienne is number 7. So just change the nameplate.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Good job.
Or put Reeves on the back. John Reeves wore 7.
Oh, wow. What a blast.
Put Jesse Palmer on the back. He wore 7.
Jesse Palmer. Yes, the Bachelor. Well, I'll tell you, Alan, you've got some options there. But I had somebody text me about this thing about young men 18 to 45 not having sex and basically all single, 63% of them. I don't know. Is that good for our country, QB?
Well, we won't be multiplying the population, obviously. We got a text since JC now has he's Dr. Phil here.
They don't even want to date. They don't even want to date, man. Oh,
all right. God. Text on the Titan More text line from Jonathan. He says, do y'all think Todd Golden can get the Gators back to the winning days?
Wow.
I mean, that's hard to tell. I mean, we got to make the tournament. That's the key. Hang on. Greg says it's WEUERFFEL.
That's what I thought.
So
QB,
anyway,
I want to
it was
spell
always
right now.
hard to spell.
It is absolutely W-U. Yes. U is before E, except after C. Yes.
So I firmly believe this, whether I'm right or wrong. It's my opinion. We all have our own opinions. That what Billy Donovan did at the University of Florida was the greatest accomplishment, maybe of almost like at any university, to come into a school that had never really won in basketball and do what he did.
Yeah, with
that
guys
ain't never gonna happen again.
Yeah, guys that weren't highly recruited. We talked about Jeremy Foley a lot of times. QB, that was clearly his best hire, and that one there, I think, got Jeremy down the road and gave him a lot of leeway with the football issues. But I tell you that 06, 07, 08 time period for Florida, it was never better, and I don't know if it'll ever happen again.
Nope. No, there's no way. All right, JC, Matt wants us to go through the schedule for next year. And get your thoughts. All right, we open up with the Miami Hurricanes. We don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Still tough.
I think we're better than Miami. Maybe I have my orange and blue glasses on, but I think we're a better football team than the Miami Hurricanes.
And why? I
watched them play last year. Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's still going to be a hard game. They still got athletes everywhere.
Yeah,
they're better.
But I mean, every game's going to be hard. Sanford, very good football program. They throw it around. They play here. You got A&M who comes here. They will have a new coach. They will have a ton of new players.
But their quarterback will be there. He wasn't there this year, and he'll be back.
But you love the other guy.
I do. I don't.
So anyway, regardless of that, they're losing a ton of 5 stars. They're going to bring in some good players. New coach coming on the road. It's the Swamp. You go to Mississippi State. New coach, new quarterback, new system.
Right.
Then you got UCF coming here. New quarterback.
I think they're not a pushover, QB.
Well, they're not, but I think they won one game in the Big 12.
They did? Just one?
Let's check that. Can you look that up? I'll look it up right now. I'm
trying to find the schedule because I thought I saved it last night when I tried to screen save it because I just couldn't believe the last 5 games. It's murderer's row. I mean, it's a gauntlet, and I'm sorry, it just is. These teams are going to be tough to beat. Very difficult. Very difficult. The last 5, I think Florida and Georgia probably have the 2 toughest schedules in this new reveal. If you compare
UCF won 3 Big 12 games.
Okay, so what they win 6? Did they win 6 games?
They went 6-6.
6-6, yeah. Well, listen, they played Oklahoma tough. They did. I don't know. I mean, it's too soon to say. What's after UCF, QB?
I'm looking to see who they beat. They beat Cincinnati, who was new. And they beat Houston, who was new.
Bad teams.
Yeah, so
very bad.
I mean, it's UCF. Okay, we lost to them in a bowl game, big deal. Then we go to Tennessee, new quarterback, losing a bunch of good players apparently. But Heupel's lost 12 or 13 games in his 3 years, so it's not like he's putting the world on fire. You got Kentucky that comes here, new quarterback who has no experience, Brock Vandergriff from Georgia.
What's his name? Vandergriff, yeah.
Okay, then you got Georgia and Jacksonville. They're going to be loaded. Then you're at Texas, which that to me, Georgia and Texas are the most difficult games so far. Then you got LSU, new quarterback, a lot of new players. Ole Miss, we don't know if they're going to have their quarterback back. He said he was, but now there's talk that he may be leaving.
He'll be back.
And then Florida State, new quarterback, a bunch of new players. So, I mean, look, it's not easy, but it's on paper. You still got to go play the game, see what happens.
I think it is, if you make comparisons in today's reality, which is completely different than what we're going to see next year, QB. I agree with that. But when you've got Georgia, Texas, and LSU back-to-back, I don't care who they've got playing. That is going to be the hardest 3-game stretch of any team in America, period. And only one of those 3 games is at home, and they haven't beaten LSU in the last 6 games they've played them. So, dude, that's ridiculous to me. That's just ridiculous. Luckily, 2 of those 5 games are in Gainesville. That's all.
It's going to be fun, though. I mean,
Oh,
Shoot,
look, I think it's going to be a great thing. I'd rather watch that than see him play FAU. Absolutely, I agree. But my God, I tell you, you're gonna, Gator fans, make some early plans and go to Austin, go to Starkville, go to these games, man. I mean, I'm just saying, do it, enjoy it. Texas A&M coming to Gainesville, make plans, because that's somebody you never get to see. I think it's wonderful. I love it. I can't wait for it.
Justin says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, don't get your grandson in the habit of wearing other men's jerseys, or he'll end up like JC when he's older, still wearing jerseys at age 50.
I'm not wearing any jersey. That's funny, though. That's funny. I like hockey jerseys, QB. Everybody that goes to a hockey game wears a damn hockey jersey. What's the big deal?
I don't understand that.
You don't understand. It's just beyond your comprehension. Well, listen, I mean, there are going to be whole new looks on all these teams. Mississippi State, Tennessee, Kentucky, all these new players are coming in, but they're still going to be tough. They're still going to be good. They're going to be competitive. Man, I don't know. I don't think they did us any favors down here with the schedule. I just don't. But
hey, it is.
It's going to be fun.
Is.
It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Go to Knoxville in October, man. It's beautiful that time of year. It's unbelievable how nice it is up there. But Georgia, I think it's great. Georgia's finally got to go play at Alabama, at Texas. Georgia's finally got a chance to see what the rest of the conference has seen, and that is a difficult schedule for once in their miserable lives. So I'm glad that Georgia's going to see what it's like to have to travel back-to-back or have to go to 2 road games that are not, Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. So, good. I hope Georgia, I don't like Georgia. Who the hell likes Georgia? You got to slap them in the face, man. That's how you beat Georgia. You hit them back. And,
is that what you do?
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Let's see what we got here. We got a couple Facebook Lives. Tim says ESPN analysts agree. Tebow talks about being beat up 4 games, needed a bye week after Georgia. Yeah, it's going to be a long season with 2 bye weeks. So,
my God,
really long.
I don't mind the 2 bye weeks. You mind the 2
I
bye
do.
weeks?
I absolutely hate
you hate
bye
it?
weeks. As a player, you hate bye weeks. You hate them.
Well, I know, but it will help if the team's banged up. I mean,
yeah. Greg wants to know where your Lightning jersey is, JC, and will you wear it one day on the show?
Great win last night in overtime without Hedman. I bet you Greg's shocked I know all this about the Lightning. I could go all day long and talk about the Lightning, but maybe we don't do that enough here. But great win last night for Tampa at Edmonton, 7-4. How about that? And I think the Lightning are great. I love the Lightning. I love going to Tampa. Everybody in the hockey world knows about the Lightning. When I go to Dallas to watch the Stars, we talk about the Lightning even. It's very great. It's a great sport to go watch. I wish we talked about it more, but I understand why we don't. But at any rate, I like it better than the NBA. NBA to me is no fun. I don't enjoy that. Too many politicians run around the basketball court. You see LeBron sit down during the national anthem the other day. Didn't even think of it. Didn't cross his mind that while everybody else was standing, he would sit on his sorry ass during the national anthem. He did? Yeah, he did. It was on the video. It's all over the place. Yeah.
Man, I didn't see that. That's terrible.
Guy doesn't care that he made $1 billion in America. He's worried about his Chinese benefactors. So that's LeBron. Don't care for him. Don't care for the guy. Used to like him though. I thought he used to be a cool guy. Now he's turned into a Los Angeles Laker loving. I'll leave it at that. But I think these schedules that came out. The SEC is clearly the premier league.
And he said he had his hat on too. Indoors, he had his hat on. Would we have a hat on? Why would he have a hat on at a basketball game when he's playing?
All these guys are standing. The song is right in the middle of "And the Rockets Red Glare" or what, and he goes and parks his butt right there in a chair with his hat and starts fidgeting with towels.
Was he in uniform or in street clothes? Was he sitting this game out?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
There's still no excuse for not standing for the national anthem and doing that. But I'm saying why he would have a hat on I would assume he must have been in street clothes.
You should hear these. You should hear these UFC fighters who work for Dana White talking about him. Oh, they don't like him either. But that's UFC. And anyhow, I don't like to even give attention to it.
Oh, they say he was at his son's game. It wasn't a Lakers game.
Okay,
it was Bronny's game. USC Trojan game. JC, get your facts right. Come on.
I don't care.
All right, before we get you out of here, JC, Joseph wants to know your thoughts on the Alabama schedule. He says it looks easy.
Well, you've got Oklahoma at the end of the year. I don't know if that's easy or not easy. On the road before the Auburn game, the week before the Auburn game. You got 2 open dates before Georgia and before LSU. I think that's good. You got Georgia at home. I don't think that's a problem. I think Wisconsin's a cakewalk. I don't think that's a problem. That game is in Madison. I'm going. I've already got my hotel locked up right there on the river in Madison, Wisconsin. I don't think it's bad. I think Alabama can run that schedule. I think they can handle it.
JC, how much beer are you going to drink in Madison, Wisconsin?
Oh, well, you realize I'm cutting back dramatically on my consumption. But when I go to Wisconsin with all those Badgers and all those Wisconsinites, it's going to be hard to resist. And I think it's a great trip, man. I've always wanted to go to a Big Ten game with my team in town. It's in September, which is fine, I guess. It's better than being in November, but I wouldn't have cared if it was in November. I still would have gone. And, I'm going to try to get to Norman, too. Flying to OKC, Norman 17 miles south. I mean, these are great trips. The Gators get to go to Austin. Alabama gets to go to Norman and Madison. It's, Georgia gets to go to Austin. I think it's awesome. I tell you what, though, they did Oklahoma and Texas. I think they got some easier I think they got a nice welcome to the SEC scheduling with some home games there. Texas gets to play Florida, Georgia at home. Oklahoma gets to play Alabama at home. That's a break for them. Texas A&M has to play at Austin, or is it at College Station? I think it's at Austin. So I could be wrong, but that's going to be that Texas A&M Texas game QB. It's one of the greatest rivalries of all time, and they haven't played in 2 decades or something. And it's going to be tremendous to see. I can't wait. Next year's going to be great. Too bad we don't have a playoff right now. Then we wouldn't have to listen to these quacks from Tallahassee, and they could play somebody in the playoff tomorrow. But that's not going to happen because their commissioner didn't want it to happen. But we don't hear from that. Why don't they go sue the ACC commissioner? Why don't they go litigate that jerk, with his alliance? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to go talk about the committee. It's just so asinine. But it's over. It doesn't matter. Plans have been made. Tickets have been booked. It's on.
JC, here's what you need to do. If you're going to this Madison, Wisconsin game.
I am.
Okay.
September 13th.
You need to find out. You need to pray that the Packers are playing at home and go to Lambeau while you're there.
Glad you said that. So glad.
Oh, you did? I missed that.
No, I'm glad you said that. I didn't even look. And how is it that Milwaukee doesn't have a hockey team? What is that? Is Milwaukee that much of why don't they have a hockey team, a pro hockey team? Yes, I'm going to look that up too.
Redware is a family-owned business that prides itself in excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. They probably haven't come out with the NFL schedule yet, Jason.
So what would Franz have said today that we missed?
Franz would have probably given us an update on who's coming on visits and rumors. He's into the rumor stuff and gets scoop. I don't.
The scoop. Yeah, you got Graham Hall, dude. You got Blake Alderman.
Yeah, we got all those guys. So
anyway,
JC, great job filling in for Franz Beard.
So much.
You did a great job.
I love Franz. I would like to hear him, but maybe next week you can get him back. I'm trying to, today's Friday, going to the beach, clean it up, go to the Ravens game Sunday night maybe, and then I'll tell you all about it on Monday. Go Jags.
Right. Have fun. That's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. We were supposed to have Franz.
Why did that guy think I was drinking this morning? I've got the Bay watermelon. This is the Kula watermelon. Very healthy.
Does that make you very healthy, JC?
Yeah. Why did he think? Oh, I don't know. I'm glad it's Friday. You're right. TGIF, QB. My God. You're going to try to brave the elements and go out there and shoot under 80 today?
Yeah, we might. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, JC, have a good weekend.
All right, man.
We're running out of time. Appreciate everybody joining in on our program this week. We will see you on Monday. Take care,
Yes,
folks.
sir.